Hi there and good morning. This is the Donev trap in the Traxler Wilkes Barre variation of the two knights defense, and it's taken from the game Bex against Donev, Biel in Switzerland 1995. e4 and e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4 and knight f6, the two knights defense. Knight g5, the aggressive piece that violates opening principles of moving the piece twice in the opening, but it issues a direct assault on the pawn on f7. Rather than defend with a natural d5, we're going for the Wilkes Barre variation here with bishop c5, the Traxler. Well, white can take on f7 with either the knight or the bishop. I believe literature says that bishop takes f7 is actually preferred. The king doesn't move to f8, rather keeps the f file open, so chooses to move to e7. And now the threat that black has is removing the guard with h6, and when the knight moves, then king picks up the bishop, so the bishop's going to drop back to b3, or in this variation to d5. One of our previous traps has explored this move d6, which allows the knight to jump into f7, but here we're looking at rook f8. It's a good alternative. If white now castles and d6 is played, h3 prevents the bishop from getting to g4, in some variations the knight coming to g4, and here the black switches the queen over a common maneuver to the king side via e8, and the queen's going to come out to g6, and in some variations again to h5. After d3, queen g6, and the king here moves out of potential problems on the g file by moving over to h1. The idea being white was afraid of h6, and when the knight moves, then bishop takes on h3. And here there's a very interesting move. After h6, and now the knight drops back to f3. I like this move with many trappy ideas. Giving up the knight, playing knight to g4. It's targeting the pawn on f2, and if the pawn captures, pawn takes on g4, then bishop takes on g4, and that's going to be a deadly pin on the knight on f3, with the black queen going to be heading now for h5, and that's going to be a winning attack for black. So instead of taking the knight on g4, white would do best to simply play queen e2 and defend the pawn on f2 with a complicated position. But we might see bishop takes on c6 to avoid perhaps the knight aiming for d4. But after bishop takes on c6, then black's going to be winning after knight takes on f2, check. After rook takes on f2 and bishop takes on f2. If now queen to f1, let's throw that move in, queen f1, then we can expect queen g3 with big advantage for black. And if instead of queen f1, the bishop on c6 drops back to a4, then a nice little win by black with a sacrifice. Bishop takes on h3, threatening mate on g2. And after g takes on h3, then we have a queen diversion with rook takes on f3, sacrificing the exchange, because after queen now taking on f3, let's put that move in, queen takes on f3, then queen g1 is checkmate. So this has been the Donev trap in the Traxler Wilkes Barre variation of the two knights defense. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.